Greetings and salutations, fellow collectors of plastic things. Welcome to another video. I love crossovers as much as the next guy. I love this branding. I love when Transformers can get a little creative and partner up with other companies, other brands, all that sort of thing. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I love Code Red here. I made a short about him, and I'm actually working on a video that should come out right when Stranger Things drop, because it's all about timing, right? So Code Red, I loved him. I loved that crossover. I made a video recently about Mando here, and love this ship, and this is a pretty cool figure as well, so that's fun. And of course we have one of the Wreckers here, which again, not a crossover. This is a proper figure from Dark of the Moon. I love the Wreckers. I've been working on a video for all of them. I've collected just about every single one of them, including all the Studio series. So I'm working on a video for that. But anyway, absolutely love the Wreckers, and I only bring this up because of that sports crossover, that sports licensing with NASCAR that they did, and I thought that was a lot of fun. So anyway, nothing new for Transformers to do these crossovers, to have these brand promotions with other companies. So I don't know how many people have seen this, because I haven't seen a lot of videos talking about these coming out, but they were announced months ago on Amazon. I just saw them pop up, and they're kitschy and they're goofy, but I think they could be a lot of fun. And I ordered one, and mine arrived today. And that is KC-59. KC-59, the Transformers NFL crossover, I guess. That is just a little helmet that transforms into a little bot. It is, in fact, part of the Transformers Collaborative crossover collection, part of that line. Very official, very licensed. And very licensed by the NFL. You can see by their nice little sticker up here that lets you know that's legit. It's a proper license. NFL's all over this. In fact, this is new, kind of interesting packaging. This is very much, it way more feels like some NFL souvenir thing you would find at a shop in a stadium, and barely a Transformers box. So, you know, of course you got Transformers there, but if you didn't, it just looks like something you'd find in a souvenir shop at the stadium. Anyway, so I guess the character is called KC-59. That's the name. At first I thought that was the number for the figure, but no, that's, I guess, his name. That's fine. On the back here, you can see the helmet, the alt mode. That is a helmet. You can see KC-59 in here posing pretty well. We're going to check out his articulation and all that good stuff. And I believe the accessory is a little tiny helmet he can wear, and a football. So that's got to be one of the more interesting accessories we've ever received with a Transformer. And also, I'm actually kind of curious if this helmet will fit on any of my other Transformers, because I just think that'd be fun. So anyway, this is the box. This is how it comes packaged. I believe they're shipping now or fairly soon. I think I got mine a little bit early because of when I pre-ordered it. But anyway, should be available if you're interested. We're going to pop this guy out of the box now and take a look at him. Okay, so these are very initial first impressions of this guy right out of the box. Little KC-59 here. I have to say, I didn't want to order the Kansas City Chiefs version, but they didn't have a Washington Commanders version, so I kind of had to decide. The options currently available are the Dallas Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Kansas City Chiefs. And honestly, I already think I'm kind of regretting choosing the Kansas City Chiefs. I thought it would be fun if I was going to hate on it a little bit to get the Kansas City Chiefs, because I really don't like those guys. And since they didn't have a team I loved, I thought that was a fun option. But looking at them, the Cowboys looks kind of fun. The Packers design is nice, and the Steelers, I mean, I love the iconic Steelers helmet, so that's kind of cool too, I guess. And at 25 bucks, I mean, this is definitely a niche product, and it's going to go to a very specific market. Well, it's going to be Transformers collectors who are collecting everything, and of course, football fans, and that cross diagram of folks who are into both. So anyway, just looking at this figure, here on the front, you can see very helmet themed. Now, I do love the color scheme on it. I like the red, the Chiefs colors. I think they work pretty well for a Transformer as far as being bright and vivid. The red and yellow and the stripes here. I like the contrast between the red arms, the yellow hands, all of that kind of stuff looks kind of nice. But I do have to say, the legs themselves, I don't know if I love these legs. You've got quite a bit of helmet kibble here, which the transformation I'm sure is going to be interesting on this. And that sticks out quite a bit on the back, as does this bit here. And again, this is a very niche kind of goofy product, so not going to expect too much from it. But I do have to say, the joints feel tight. They are pretty solid. As far as and this helmet, by the way, is an accessory that should pull off. So let's pop off this helmet. There we go. So this is his helmet here. Just a tiny little helmet to go on his head. I'm sure if heads are small enough, you could fit on other things. It's got to be pretty small to fit. I'll find somebody that'll fit on eventually. But anyway, if you lose the helmet, get a look at the face sculpt here. He's got some piercing blue eyes and a kind of weird metallic face, which is kind of interesting. I'll definitely have to get some close-up shots of this, but the yellow stripes, it's definitely an interesting head sculpt for sure. I'm not sure how I feel about this weird aluminum foil looking face with the blue eyes. I think he's probably definitely meant to keep the helmet on. As far as articulation goes, the head is very tight on here, but it will swivel left and right. You can look up a bit. It can't look down. It kind of stops flat there, but it can look up a bit. The arms, I imagine, go all the way around. You've got elbow joints. That's pretty good. The hands don't turn. He doesn't really have a weapon anyway. All he has, of course, is his football accessory. It's got a little peg here. This is definitely not a 5mm. This is definitely only going to fit on this guy. Let's see. And he's waist swivel. Yeah, we do actually have waist swivel, so you can get maybe some nice Heisman Trophy poses going. We'll work on those in a bit. Leg swivel back. You're only kind of blocked a bit by the backpack here, but they go back a decent amount. And you do have nice ankle tilt, so that's good. Pretty good knee bend. So yeah, I think you're probably able to get this guy in some pretty decent poses. Look how the foot comes up like that. That's actually kind of handy. So yeah, this guy's meant to pose. I think they even have him set up sort of running to try and make a catch, so you can grab the football, stick it in his little port here, and he can be running to make a catch. So that's kind of fun. Definitely very posable. I mean, with the ankle that comes all the way down like that, that's actually pretty good. You are dealing with these large bits of leg kibble that I don't know if those will actually come off. This is just out of the package, so we're learning as we go here. But now if he's just holding the ball like this, that is kind of awkward. It's not in his fist. It's stuck in like that. So he can't really hold it in his hand. So definitely the only way you can kind of make this work, it looks like, is to just kind of have him holding it. And again, in the air like that is going to be the way. Anyway, that's about all there is to the robot mode. So figure out, he's got nice heels here, as you can see there, nice heels. So yeah, anyway, before we do that, well, I have to say the robot mode is not bad. I like the stripes going down the legs, very reminiscent of the football uniform. I mean, that's really cool. That's a nice touch. Everything bends well. The bits of the helmet up here on the shoulders it's a little out of control, and I don't know if I love that. But again, what are you going to do? Where are you going to put that? So I get it. That's fine. But anyway, so that is robot mode. But this is all about the helmet mode, and we'll now figure out now how to transform him. And we'll put him into his helmet mode. So to do a couple quick size comparisons, I don't know what it was about him. I think it's all the kibble and kind of his basic shape, but I thought a good buddy of his could be Human Alliance Skids. So here he is next to Human Alliance Skids, and for some reason, I don't know why, I think they make a great team and they look pretty good together. And here he is next to Vortex. So you can see he's a decent size. A little taller than Vortex. Here he is next to, Here he is next to Voyager Ironhide, who also looks like he's kind of ready to play a football game. Looks like he's got his pads on, so that kind of works for me. And here he is next to our Studio Series Megatron. So you can see not a bad size at all, especially considering how small he transforms down into that helmet. He's a pretty good size. Okay, so this is day 2, and I had a good evening fiddling around with this guy, and actually have to say, the more time I spent with him, the more I really started to like this guy. So we're going to do the transformation now. I think I've kind of got it down pat. But first and foremost, before we do that, I do want to mention this extra part of his helmet. There is storage for it on his back to add to the back kibble, but it doesn't look the worst. These two pieces go together. We'll take them apart for the transformation, but you can stick them together, and there is a tab right here. You can push them into the tab like that. Whoops. There we go. And tab those in, so you do have storage for everything. You can be holding his football, of course, and adds to the kibble a bit, but I don't know, maybe you like that look. It's not the worst. It's certainly interesting. But anyway, for transformation, we're going to go ahead and remove that. Going to kind of straighten him out. First thing you want to do is pull this front part of his waist up like that, and then you can pull this bit out, and then I'm going to come around into the back. You're going to have to move the arms out of the way every now and then. Pull the back part back, and this is really tight on mine, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but you can pull that back part back, and you can keep his helmet on, and just carefully shove the whole head back into that space, like that. Now you can take his fist, slide them in on either arm, just like that. And again, this kind of gets in the way. You'll notice these for the transformation, these kind of pull in and out, but you can kind of keep them pulled out for now. Now you can take this whole front, bring it all the way around, snap up like that, bring it down, and then this bit here will push down and kind of fit into place right there. Now, the way things snap together as you're transforming, it's kind of a squish form where they're going to come loose and you're going to push them back in. It's just kind of part of the process. It's just getting everything in shape to form the helmet. So the next thing you want to do, these arms actually kind of pull out during transformation, so you want to push them back in, just like that, and kind of they should fit into place, like so. And then these bits of the helmet will fold up and in. Oh, but before you do that, twist this bit around, because that's, of course, these bits are going to line up here. And then you'll push this bit of the arm in. There are big tabs, there are large ports, which is nice, so things, once they're in place, should hold together fairly well, and that'll slide right in just like that. Other side, same thing. You want to push the arm in nice and flush. It should snap in there, make sure nothing's kind of getting in the way, just like that. And then this bit, of course, will twist around, push it in, it'll fit right into place quite nicely, just like that. Now the legs are pretty slick. You have large ports here for tabs on the legs here, so you just kind of push them up, and the feet will go right in here. So push that foot in the place. It just kind of bends forward like that, and then you take the heel and put that in just like that. Same thing, of course, on the other side, and kind of just push this out of the way. Bring that up, put that tab into the slot there, close up the heel, just like that. And now these will kind of, these bits will come forward like this, and they will connect. And I do this first, and then I can shape the other parts of the legs, because they'll kind of twist around, and it'll meet in place just like that. Bring them around, tab in just like that, and if they're angled right, you should get everything to tab in. And there you go. Like I said, there'll be a little squishing at the end till you've really got it down pat. But it is good engineering. It's just a little funky, so you kind of just have to figure it out as you go. And then you just kind of do a push in, collapse in sort of deal here. See how the legs are a little off here? There we go. The legs will fold back like this. Squish everything forward like that. You've got tab here, at least 2 connections there that you're going to make. And again, it can be a little tricky. I like when I get one side down, I kind of like to hold it in place while I'm pushing the other side in. But I tend to have to kind of go back and forth with these, because these will slot in, but they're a little tricky. There's a little tab slot right in there. You kind of got to get it in there. And then the other one might pop back out on you. Kind of get them in together like that. And then you're pretty good. And then you're going to bring this last piece down, put that into place. And that's the helmet mostly done. You can go through and clean up and squish anything together if you want. But that's the helmet. Now these two pieces, in case they're apart, in fact, you should probably take them apart for this bit. The chin strap you want to do first, and there is football storage, which is fun. So there's a little port right here inside the chin strap, so just put the football in there, just like that. And then you've got these 4 ports here. They're going to go into the helmet here and here on either side, so you can kind of push it in, hold it in place. Each of those ports, just like that, came around the other side, and they might pop out on you when you're doing this, but once they're in, they'll hold it in place pretty good. Now you have this final 2 ports. They're going to be where the front guard of the helmet goes, and you have a large tab here that's going to go right here. So I actually like to try and get that tab in first, just like that, and then push this into the port. Push that in the port on that side, and there you go. Whoops. Keep those connected. Oh yeah, final little bit here that I almost missed. You want to make sure those are connected right there too. But yeah, this is the helmet mode. And I'd say once it's all together and in place, it still doesn't feel completely solid for me, but I am not going to blame this yet. I'd have to do it a few more times to know if it's really on me and my transformation. And I think it might be just you know how it is, some of these new molds we deal with that, you know, you kind of struggle with it a bit until you get used to it, and you kind of have to study it a little bit. And sometimes that's part of the fun. Sometimes it's super frustrating. But anyway, regardless, I did get him together, and it does seem to hold pretty tight now. And I do have to say, this is pretty cool. I think if you're going to be a collector of NFL stuff and a Transformers fan, this is great. I mean, it's really cool to have this, especially if they have your favorite team. Like I say, I'd love to have a Commanders version of this. I don't know if there are going to be more. Right now we have the 4. Maybe they're going to see how they do. But I will note it's kind of interesting. I noticed the shipping that originated from Kansas City, which I found pretty hilarious. And I think what it must be, and I wonder if this is going to be the case, is if they're literally shipping these to the cities, so they will be in the stadiums. Like that's where the first pack of shipments, first shipments went to the cities where these stadiums are. And maybe they're literally going to be selling these at the football stadiums, which I think would be pretty cool. If I were a kid and I got dragged to a football game, I wasn't that interested, but I was also a huge Transformers fan. Boy, this would be the souvenir to have for me. So anyway, that's just a quick look at it. Very interesting crossover collaboration that just dropped from Transformers. Football, NFL, fully licensed NFL football helmet. You got your little Autobot logo right there, your team logo on the side, chin strap, everything holding in place pretty well, and I guess it would look pretty cool on the desk. If you're a huge fan, and what a great fiddle former to have this on the desk to keep it at work, and people think, oh yeah, I'm a football fan, I just have my favorite team's helmet, no big deal, and you have it on your desk, people leave, and then you can play with your Transformer and nobody knows better. Funny thing is too, if you stuck around this long, the main reason I bought these is there is a nostalgia leaning to why I purchased this. And I don't know if some of you are as old as me, if you remember in the 80s, Dairy Queen had their Sunday cups, and they had these baseball helmets. And you would get a Sunday in the baseball helmet of your favorite team if you were lucky, and you could collect them. And I remember doing that in the 80s. It was such a fun thing. I'll throw up some photos of them. I grew up around Cincinnati, so I believe I had a Cincinnati Reds when I was a Dodger fan too, so I wanted a LA Dodgers helmet as well. But you would get a Sunday in the helmet, and you would collect the helmets. For some reason, that's what this reminded me of. But anyway, that's your first look at this new interesting Transformers collaboration with NFL. So get your favorite team, and thanks for watching. And since I forgot to do my size comparisons for him in robot mode, and I have to do the transform him back real quick, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I like to just start pulling the legs down, kind of removing those tabs on either side, like that. This can kind of come up out of the way. Then you can just bring the legs back down, just like so. You can take these back bits. They kind of go up into these little spaces here. So you can kind of push that space in just like that. Push that into that space, just like that. And then these will twist around like so. And then you can bring the foot down, bring the heel out, and put that into place. And there's so much, there's good ankle tilt. There's so many ways to pose them with the feet. So just kind of put them there for standing straight up. Same thing on the other side. I want to make sure that bit's pushed back. We'll pivot this all the way around. Bring down the foot. Bring out the heel. And there you go. Legs pretty much done. And then the arms here, you're going to kind of want to just start pulling everything out to where you can bring the arms out. And remember, the arms at the shoulders actually pull out a bit. So you see that little yellow piece pops out a bit on either side. That gives them a little more clearance for posing them. And the shoulders can, I believe, kind of come down a bit. For now, see these tabs, you want to push these out like that. So you can fiddle around with the shoulders and kind of put those, you know, there's no being accurate to any move or anything else. Let's kind of do whatever you want with the shoulder pads. Bring the arms, the hands back out on either side, just like so. And then you're going to want to disconnect this part. And now right here, before you bring the chest plate down, pull this bit back. And this is the easiest way. This is really important. Right here, you can push his head out. Because if you put this down, you try to pull it out from the helmet or whatever else, it's really tricky. But while you have this open, you can just push your thumb in there, pop his head up, maybe a little pinky. There we go. Bring his head up. Helmet come up, that's okay. And then you can bring the chest piece all the way down. And that'll help you move this up out of the way. Straighten his body out. Just push it back like that. Then you can bring the chest piece into place. There we have them. Arms out. Just like so. And again, fiddle with these however you want. I think they have them like kind of coming like this maybe. And that keeps them out of the way a little bit. And that looks kind of cool. So I think I kind of prefer that. Remember the legs can kind of go like that. And this part will push up. Just like that. And you're kind of good to go. And then you can put his little helmet back on him. And notice that, like I said, that does open. So it makes it a little easier to fit it on other bots if you want to. Pop his helmet back on. Oops. That's in the way a little bit. Bring his head forward. There we go. And that's pretty much transforming him back to bot. It's a lot of fun. You'll find yourself fiddling with it quite a bit, I think. And yeah, the more I mess with him, the more I'm really liking this guy.